Hi guys, hello and welcome to Rotors, the RC Helicopter Show. This is the December edition. As you know, new format now. If you want to join the chat, anyone can join in. We've got Roger Whitehead with us today, we've got Lee Trevathan and Dave Moreau, and as usual, we've got Adrian Chapman Law. I'm Kev Davies. I'm fat. I fly helicopters. What more do you want to know? But yeah, no. It's going to be a bit of a quiet show today. We were hoping to have Ian Hands on from TGRC to talk all things about Zeal Blades. Unfortunately, he's had some business work come up and he can't get away. So we'll get Ian on another time and then we'll talk about Zeal Blades. But we do still have a competition to give blades away. So that'll be coming up shortly. And yeah, no, it's gonna be a good one. Adrian, how are you? How has your month in hell has been, and what you been up to?
Well, as you've probably gathered, I've been playing with the T-Rex 500 an awful lot.
Oh
And
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, yeah.
it's been an interesting few weeks actually. It's been quite nice. You know, with my previous um, experiences, shall we say, with a line, it's been quite nice. Still went well, went together nicely, no problems there. The electronic side of things went in pretty well. Initial sort of flights were pretty good with some sort of setup things that felt a bit sort of like
Hmm.
just needed a bit more tweaking, and just sort of the major problem was I didn't have a Bluetooth adapter to start with, which made it quite difficult to sort of tweak. Because I don't have a laptop. I now have a desktop and a phone, so it was a bit tricky, that sort of thing. But once I sort of tweaked around with it, swapped out the tail servo, it got a lot better, and yeah, no, it's now running on the Vortex. I I uh,
Cool.
I caved and put the Vortex on it. Not to say the G Pro is bad, um, but it works and
Hmm.
it flies nicely. It's just for me personally, I prefer the way the Vortex flies.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I have flown one of the clubmates 700s. He's got the G Pro unit on it, and yeah, it does what it says on the tin. It's a fly-by-wire unit and it flies. I mean, there's not a lot more you can ask from it, but no, it ticks the boxes. But like you say, it's not a vortex. Like yourself, I think I've just got a little bit too used to how the vortex flies, and it's just sort of I know all the little ins and outs of the programming, and I know how to make that heli suit myself. So yeah, I don't know what you're saying. We all cave in eventually. I mean, I did the same. I did the same back beginning of the year, I think it was. I bought a second-hand T-Rex 450 with a 3GX on it, and I thought, oh, we'll give it a fair crack of the whip. I caved in. I caved in. It just wasn't a vortex. Yeah, I mean, talking about the vortex there, the e-governors beta release, isn't there?
Yeah,
Ooh.
that was one of the excuses I used to put the Vortex on because I wanted to have a
Mm-hmm.
play. Having waited so long, I just found myself with this sort of e-governor sort of firmware sat there going, install me, and me not having a model that was sort of had a Vortex on it at that point because I've cannibalised the X5 for the tail servo and the receiver and that sort of thing. So kind of I didn't have a flyable model with the Vortex on. So it was a case of really want to try this eGov to see what it's like, and I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have a model. So that was one of the reasons as well to switch across. And yeah, I mean I bought the sort of Hobby Wing phase
Yeah.
sensor off of eBay for like £3 or something ridiculous. I
Mm-hmm.
did that about 6 months ago.
Well, when,
and
when, when we first heard about it.
yeah, yeah. When Angelos first said, "Well, it won't be that long,"
Oh no.
and and put it on, and I didn't even sort of. It was instantly kind of like you could hear even just in the little pops, just little bounces on the collective. You could hear the model maintain or or rather, you couldn't hear the model changing the load because the head speed was staying the same.
Hmm.
So, and it seems like unlike a nitro, the motor makes doesn't change significantly if
Hmm.
the RPM stays the same. Seems to an extent, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I tried it first on the 700, and I put my hands up. I got the settings wrong in the ESC. I changed it all over to external governor and everything, but I hadn't changed the head speed change rate. I think was the setting I got wrong. It never occurred to me to put that back to a default setting, and I was just had a few problems with it. But yeah, I was just having like a little bit of an oscillation,
Oh yeah.
and I just couldn't dial it out, and it was just doing my head in. So it was like, put it to one side, I'll come back to it later, and I saw that, and that was it. But at one point, I actually had it that if you were vicious with the sticks and you threw it into the corners just to try and really load the head up, head speed was increasing. I was like, well, that's a different sensation. I've never known that before. But no, considering it is a beta release, yeah, I've got to take my hats off to Angelos again. It's got the makings of being pretty damn good. Pretty damn good.
I mean, I really haven't played with mine at all. It's literally
Mm.
got because I mean I've only been out for 4 or 5 flights sort of since putting it on,
Hmm.
and that was all the time I've really had on it. And I didn't really. I just wanted to fly. I was short on time, and the sun was going down, and limited number of batteries. I just wanted to go and play with it. Just want to go and
Yeah.
fly. And it was. I haven't played with it at all, and it really is very good. I regret not getting a bit of video on actually because my camera seems to have the head speed sort of synced up quite nicely with the frame rate.
Hmm.
So you can really see the head speed changing, and that's one of the things. If you watch the flight video from the TRX 500,
Hmm.
which had that had G Pro on it still, but with a 9257 on the tail, it was you could really see the head speed changing and moving around as you were loading and unloading. Whereas you don't. It's until you get to the point where it's physically run out of puff. The head speed doesn't seem to change much at all.
Yeah.
Really quite impressed.
Yeah, that's it.
Stock settings as well.
I mean, let's go to some of our other guests here now. Have you guys used an external governor for your electric models, or are you all using what's built into the ESCs?
I'm using the
I use the one that's built into my ESC.
What ESC is that, Roger?
I have Castle Creations ESCs on my electrics.
All right. Okay. And I mean, I've got castles in the 570 and a few others. And one of the things I was finding that even with this great big motor in my 700, I've got one of the F3C. Well, the world speed record limited edition Scorpions. Even with that, I was running out of puff sometimes, and I don't know. I don't know if that's just a trait with the Castle's governor software or what. I'm not 100% certain. I mean, do you ever find anything like that? You're like running out of power where you shouldn't really be?
Well, I'm a kind of a flyer that just likes to cruise around the skies, so I don't really tax the helicopters too much. I've never really had an instance where I didn't have enough power to, say, recover from a dumb thumb or something like that. But I've always been very happy with my ESCs from Castle. The only exception, and it's just their design criteria on the Talon line, is that they don't do the logging feature in the Talons, and I kind of like that. So I had a Talon originally in my Goblin, and I took it out and put an Edge 100 in there so that I could get back to logging data with that helicopter. So like I say, I've been pretty happy with it. It seems to hold head speed just fine. We've got one of those little optical tacks, and it's when I flip the switch to change head speeds, it seems to be going right to the head speed that I've got set in the software parameter. So they have always worked for me.
Cool.
Now, one question that I have about the Castle line of ESCs is I haven't found any place where in their documentation where they say whether they're freewheeling or not. And I guess if I want to get down into the lower head speeds, that I need to be concerned about that. So, do you guys have any thoughts or expertise on whether these ESCs are freewheeling, and would I be in jeopardy of doing damage to it if I try and get down into the lower head speeds?
I couldn't tell you about the freewheeling, but I do know that they don't like going down the lower head speed. They like to be in a certain range. From what I've seen posted around the net and everything, these guys that are doing the low head speeds, like the 1,000, 1,100 RPM and stuff on the 700s, they're running either Contronic or YGE. They just seem to handle the lower head speed better. One of the things I have seen doing it, is it just something you want to just bring your head speed right down to do the low head speed, Roger, or? And he's dropped out.
I would. I'm just actually having a quick read about the freewheeling because it's.
Yeah, I don't think the Castle does the freewheeling. To be fair.
No, I don't think so. I've got a Castle, and I don't remember.
Everything I've read says that I haven't read anything that definitively states they do not, but everything that I have read, just conversations in various heli forums, state that it does not do active freewheeling. That's one of the things I actually came across recently. Is I found several posts where people were wishing that they would consider doing that, considering that Chronic and some of the other higher end ESCs are actually doing that. YG, I think, also does active freewheeling.
Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact YGE do, because I've got a YGE in my 770. That it's definitely one of the options on that. But like we just said, then Castle don't, as far as we're aware. I'll do some digging on that for you, Roger. I have got Clint Aiken's contact details, so I'll drop him a line and see what he says on that. So is it just something?
Appreciate it.
With you saying the low head speed, is it something you want to just drop it down, or is it like a half head speed that you want to run, sort of thing?
Well, I want to try my hand at F3C, and from what I've seen, the guys that are flying F3C are flying at a lower head speed, and I want to get down maybe 1,500 on a 500 size helicopter.
Yeah, right. So that would be about half.
Yeah, that's low.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to run both head speeds. So we say you want to run a high head speed and a low head speed.
That is correct, because you need the higher head speed for the aerial maneuvers when you're doing your loops and rolls and that kind of stuff. So what I was shooting for would be a head speed of around 2,100 there on a 500 size helicopter.
Okay. All right, no problem. I'll get hold of Clint and I'll see what I can dig up for you. Lee, you were saying, was it yourself that was saying about using the Icon governor?
Yeah, I've got. As you're invested in Spartan, I'm invested in an Icon. Everything I have has Icon. I'm using the Castle Edge ESC, so it's got the internal sensor, so that I don't need the Hobby Wing one. And I just plugged it in, followed the instructions, set the head speed I wanted, and then I measured it with an external tack, and it was bang on the number. So and I'm happy with it. I don't know if I could feel any difference or if anything's bad or not so good. It's the first time I've used Governor, but to me it feels perfect. It holds the head speed exactly where I want it.
Cool.
I think that's the point, is that the ESC governors will do the job, most of the time. And I've talked to Angelos about sort of, why is a flybarless based governor going to be better than an ESC one? And it appears to be that the PID control for it's two things. The PID control, firstly, isn't quite optimized or adjustable for your setup, so you can't get the gains and everything absolutely spot on, which means they have to err on the low side of the gains. So that then means when you start waggling it around, you are going to get a little bit of a change as you vary the load, or the instantaneous load change.
Mm-hmm.
So it will just drop a little bit and then catch up as you bang a load of collective in. Okay. So that's the first bit. The second bit is that the flybarless knows a lot more about what is going on with the load ahead of time. So where a flybarless its only input is a feedback from the actual head speed that it's seeing at the moment. So it doesn't know that there's a whole bag load of collective just being fed in at that instant. It only knows when the head speed drops. So where a speed controller governor will go, I'm seeing this head speed, and then the load will change, and it will see the head speed drop, and then it will react to that speed change.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a flybarless controller goes, well, the transmitter's just fed in a load of collective, so I'm going to increase the throttle now rather than waiting for the head speed to drop. So, and there's all sorts of stuff like that going on.
Sort of thing.
It's preempting the rather than waiting for the head speed to drop and then reacting to it. It's going, the head speed will drop if I don't do something about this now. And it's the same thing with the collective and the same thing with the cyclic. It knows before the head speed drops that the load is going to increase. And that's the two things that really kind of make the flybarless based governors better. The downside is that they can be a little bit more finicky to get set up because you're going for that extra little bit of performance.
Mm-hmm.
You can end up being a little bit high on the game on some of the games, or putting a little bit too much pre-comp in, like you had, Kev. So that's the general idea behind having the flybarless based governor. It's not just reacting to head speed change; it's reacting to load change before the head speed actually drops, which is it's quite cool.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, Dave, are you using governors on your electric helis? Is that an internal on the ESC thing or through the flybarless?
Yes, actually, I'm basically in this same position as Lee is. I'm using Icon and Castle Edge ESCs, and I've just set up a Blade 550X, and I've tried both. I tried the Edge governor, and for the first time I tried the Icon governor, and I have to say I prefer the Icon governor. It's just spot on without having to do anything. I just went through the basic setup and boom, it works. The Icon I found not only on this heli but on my 500, I had to kind of tweak it a little bit to get it dialed in just perfect, and even then keep in mind I'm a really lightweight sport flyer, but I could feel the difference. There's just like if I do hard pitch pumps or something like that, I could feel the lag. I can hear the motor bog just slightly, and where the Icon governor, when I it's just rock solid. Doesn't matter what I do, how light I'm flying or if I'm really hitting the collective hard. It sounds consistent the whole time. It feels consistent the whole time. I like it.
Cool.
I don't know if you've listened to the video I did with the GoPro on the side of my Goblin, but when you just listen to the motor on mine, it's just constant. No matter what I do, it's absolutely constant. And yeah, I love it. It's fantastic. I tried to set up the governor in a few of my castle ESCs, but I could never get the head speed that I wanted or the helicopter said it should have. It wouldn't work unless I put some ridiculously huge pinion on it. Whereas with the Icon, it worked as with a stock pinion and gave me the exact right head speed I wanted.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that with the larger pinion as well. Like the 570 bit behind me. According to the setup and everything that I did with my heli when I first got it, the stock pinion should have been bang on for 2,600 head speed, which is what I wanted to run it at. But the castle wanted another 3 teeth on the pinion to get it within their governor range. And now I've gone back to the Spartan, I've put the original pinion back on, and it's got even more power. I mean, this is a heli that was unboggable in the first place, and now it's insane. So
yeah, I just made a mistake. I did actually go up a pinion. I think one tooth or 2 teeth. I think it was a 20. What's the stock one's 21, wasn't it, on the 570?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I got a 23. Well, I got a 23 for 700 originally. They sent me the wrong one. Yeah. I thought there was something wrong.
It was a bit big, that.
Twice the size. But, they sent me another one, no worries. So.
At least you didn't get the big belt one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking of goblins, sorry. Talking of goblins, as we're talking about goblins, the hype monster is definitely firing up, isn't it, for the new 380? The servos are starting to come into stock.
Want it now. Sorry,
I'm a
little bit excited.
Just put it away.
No, I like my little helis just for messing around and just generally throwing at the ground because it's cheaper to crash than the big ones. And as you know, I've been waiting for this all year pretty much. Now I'm hyped and excited and can't wait. I really can't. It's going to be like another Christmas when it comes out.
Have you seen the price of the servos, the BK servos over here? They better be very good servos. That's what I'm going to say on that.
Yeah. Now I was. Yeah, I was toying with the idea of going balls deep with kitting it out and everything, and well, unfortunately, I've now seen the price of these servos.
How much are they?
52 for the cyclics and 72 for the tail. Now,
if they're anywhere near as good as the large BK ones on my 570, I think they're worth it.
Well, yeah, I can understand them being worth it and everything. Ooh, yeah, I can go with that, but the price, just for a 450 size, it's just priced myself out the market. So
the cyclic servos aren't too bad. Okay, the 50. My issue is that the tail, and this is what was upsetting me or annoying me initially with the 500, was that I like a good, solid, predictable tail. I hate them when they're loose and floppy and just don't go where you want them to and stuff like that. So that, if you look, I mean, that's 74 quid, 73.99 from Skyline. That's the first Skyline. I think the 9257 was 53 odd. Anyway, so yes, it is more, but you're talking about a high voltage, shiny, sparkly, anodized metal case. You know, you're never going to break the lugs off this thing for starters.
Well, no, I'm with you. I'm all for top end kit. I mean, I'm just looking at 5 of my helis here, and they're all spec'd out to a high level. I'm just the thing. It's a 450. You know.
I think
the aligned servos are perfectly capable. Granted, it's a bit sacrilege putting aligned servos in a Goblin, but they're perfectly capable. If you look at these flights on the 450 Dominator, there is nothing wrong with them servos.
Spend the money on the tail.
Yeah.
Spend the money on the tail, and if you're going to skimp anywhere, go for the cyclics.
This is what I'm thinking. I'm going to maybe put the Align cyclics on and get a decent tail servo.
Yeah, what have you got on your 360? Your warp?
Savox. Yeah, I've just actually finished rebuilding it today. Because I've had it for 2 years, and the last time I've only crashed it twice, but the last time I crashed it, it went in pretty hard, and I thought everything was okay. Luckily, before I tried it to fly it next time, I noticed that one of the cyclic servos just locked up, and there was one tooth broken off. So I just replaced that, and these have been running really well. Like I said, for 2 years. Just the elevator servo had a bit of slop in it, but I've replaced one of the other cyclic servos that broke. I replaced that, and then I changed the gears out of that one and put them in the elevator one, apart from the one that had the broken tooth, and that's taken all the slop out of that as well. So now it's all looking really good and ready to fly. I've changed all the bearings in it, so it's tight as a duck's arse, man.
I'm sorry, but it's a 450, and it's only crashed twice in the last how many years?
2.
You're not trying hard enough. They belong in the ground. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they're for. You're supposed to break them every time you go out.
Yep.
Unfortunately, this year I haven't had the money to fix them, so that's why I've been really careful.
Fair enough. Right, before we go much further, I suppose we better do this prize draw. As everybody knows, Ian Hands of TGRC has been very generous, and he's offered a set of Zeal Blades of your size, of your colour, whichever ones you want, he will send them to you. I don't know if you know much about Zeal Blades. It's a Vietnamese company, handmade. Pretty much you can get a bespoke blade. I mean, I know they sorted out some blades for the air competition, and from what I gather, it was only like a 7-day turnaround. They put their order in 7 days they got them in their hands. So yeah, they seem to be pretty good from what I've seen flying them. I've seen Tom Owen fly them. I've seen Steve Gerrard trying them. And yeah, it just seemed to be a nice poppy blade. Not had a chance to fly it myself yet, but no doubt I will shortly. But no, they seem to be pretty good. So we have high-tech prize draw equipment. No, it's a bit funny really, because obviously all the high-tech stuff we've been doing before, and now we're just down to a pint pot with bits of paper in it. So we can only apologise. So, all right, let's give it a go.
My fault. I need to talk to Trev early about getting a proper one set up that we can use every time, right? Because before it's always been.
No, you can't beat old-fashioned technology. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Right, going in. Got one. Right. So whoever this is, you have won a set of Zeal Blades in whatever size you want, whatever colour you want. You couldn't make this one up. This is one of my club mates, this one. Don't know if you can see it on the camera there, but that's Tony Stevens. Or Inspector Gadget, as we call him. So, Tony, if you're watching, you need to send an email to Adrian. His email address is adrian@rotors-show.co.uk, and you're going to need a phrase that pays. Now, come on, guys, let's think of a phrase that pays that Tony's got to say. Come on, what can we come up with?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. You could have given me some warning you were going to ask this question.
Well, It's live. We're just proving that we're live, aren't we? So.
What's
it? I've got it. I'm Inspector Gadget giving me down blades. So there you go, Tony. That's your phrase that pays. You need to email Adrian at adrian@rotors-show.co.uk, and the phrase that pays is, "I am Inspector Gadget. Now give me my goddamn blades." There we go. Congratulations, Tony. Right. Where were we up to then?
We've had Daniel join us.
We have. Daniel's coming, and we have another chap coming, but he's just...
Yeah, Tony is a friend of mine. He's he lost sound and everything, so he's disappeared.
All right, fair dues. Daniel, hello. Our little Hungarian chum. How are you, and how have you been getting on? How's your mother and health been?
Sziasztok, just for Hungarian greetings. Yeah, everything is fine. The weekend is very cold, so I didn't do my maiden fight for the Forza.
Okay.
And I just swapped my Nano QX for the 180, the show battery, and the video quality for the HD camera. It's far away from the good one. Nothing else happens. I'm very busy in my real life, so I didn't fly, just the usual 1 hour from Phoenix every day. That's it.
Cool. Okay. Right, let's have another little subject to talk about now. A couple of little things that I've seen, new products that I've seen come out. Links Innovations, they do all these upgrades for the Goblins, the Blade series and everything. They now turn the hand to making their own helicopters. Call it the Oxy Heli Division. Little Q there from SAB, and they're calling it the Oxy 3. It's a 300 size helicopter with a DFC head. Did put a link on the Rotors page earlier on about it, just a video and everything. They do look pretty smart, to be fair. One of my friends in America, Chris Rybert, he's one of the reps for them. I mean, have you guys seen this video? Have you had much to do with these Oxys and had a look at them at all?
I haven't had a look at I'm just watching the video in the background at the moment, and so is it 300? When they say 300 class, do they mean a 450, or do they mean 300 mil blades?
Is it 250? No, the 255 is it? I think the blades.
Yeah, I think 255, something like that.
It's basically like a Trex 250 size. No?
That's pretty neat, isn't it?
Yeah, Blade 300X or something. I think that's a pretty similar one, isn't it?
Yeah. That looks pretty neat. It's got lots of metal on it, and seems to do the routine. Do we have any idea of price and availability?
I haven't as yet. No, I mean I'm just looking now just to see if I can find any more information about it. But no, no price or anything. But it just looks pretty cool and pretty well thought out, to be fair.
I like the square boom tube because with the size of it, the square boom tube looks like it'd be a lot stronger than a round one.
In theory, the round one should be stronger. In theory.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got something with corners along a length, it's going to be a weak point, and it's going to be somewhere where they're going to fall up a bit easier.
But having said that, it would be easier to mount it in the frames because it's square.
Yeah.
Relying on plastic. The layout looks pretty good in terms of sort of electronics layout. So the motor's high, the battery's in front of it at an angle, and and then that puts your gyro and everything out the back. Speed controller underneath the battery. That means that all the high voltage stuff is well away from the low voltage stuff, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, since 2.4, it's not anywhere near as much of an issue as it used to be, but it's still good practice to keep stuff separate as you can. But no, it looks pretty good. Oh, I've just noticed a couple of questions from Jeremy Booth. Well, not really questions, but comments from Jeremy Booth about the freewheeling. The talons suggest he reckons that the talons don't. Probably, he's not 100% sure. Don't do freewheeling, but he's got a Yep 180, and that does.
Yeah, the Yep is the Hobby King version of the YGU.
Yeah, that's what I've got in my walk. It's the YEP45, and yeah, it's been running all right for 2 years as well.
Yeah, I mean,
it does have the freewheeling on it. I don't use it.
Yeah, I've seen a few people use these YEPs, and they seem to do the trick. Nice budget ESC, so not too bad.
Oh, of course. The other useful thing was going back to the Oxy 3. Let me just see if I can screen share this little segment of video. There it is. It makes the tail gearbox easier as well because you've got the square sides. You've got the flaps then to mount 2 bits of carbon onto the side of it. So
yeah, perfect alignment every time. Oh, here we go. Go on, Aid. There we go.
So you can see there that it just bolts straight through, and it's a belt drive, like they should be.
Yeah.
I never. The one thing that's been putting me off most of the 450s, in fact most helis in general, is the torque tube. I want a belt drive. But yeah, so that makes it a bit easier to mount stuff. So it's looking quite good, that little Oxy 3.
It does.
Metal grips, lots of metal on it. Ball races on things that should have ball races. Nice looking tail pitch setup. It's looking pretty solid.
Yeah. Here we go. Just another comment just come on here from Marius Rimstad. No Castle Creations EFCs have active freewheeling.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So that's that question answered for you, Roger.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No problem at all. Another little product that I've seen, I mean, you've probably all seen these backup solutions. You did a video on backup solutions, didn't you, Aid, with the OptiGuards, Scorpion, and the little...
Good old-fashioned life.
That's it, the little 2 battery pack. Now, OptiPower, they've got the OptiGuard with the built-in battery and everything. They've also now brought out a little complement to that one. It's called the OptiBC Guard. Basically, from what I can tell, it's to stop back spikes to your ESC when the OptiGuard kicks in. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't know that was an issue with anything. But obviously, any protection to your ESC, your 2, 3, 4. I mean, in the case of Contronic, 500-600 quid ESC, you're going to want to protect it. But no, it's nice to see he's innovated, because it's the first time I've ever heard of anything like that. I mean,
playing devil's advocate for a second.
Go
on. It sounds like more along the lines of he's discovered I might be wrong because I haven't looked at it. But let's just say, if you made a product and put it out on the market, and then decided that there was, and then sort of had a bit of customer feedback and maybe killed a couple of speed controllers and that sort of thing, and went, yes, we've got a problem with the circuit. Let's sell this thing to fix the problem. I'm not saying that is the problem, obviously.
No, I'm with you.
I have a problem. If it is a problem and he's not admitting to it and he's selling something to fix the problem with his product, I think that's wrong. I'd love to hear some clarification on that.
Yeah. I think we should need to email Andy on that one and ask him.
Yeah.
I do think you are I do think you are being a bit devil advocate there because
it is definitely devil's advocate.
yeah, yeah. He does some really good stuff, and he feels top notch. His batteries are probably the best that we can get in the UK. There are some really good competitors in the States for OptiPower, but over in the UK, I think they're probably the best ones we can get over here. So, no, I think it's just an extra level of protection. I mean, I do keep meaning to buy myself some OptiGuards. I did have a situation when I was night flying a few weeks ago with my 630. The power to the servos decided it was going to turn itself off whilst inverted, and the helicopter just floated down and had a lie down. As you can imagine, it's a Goblin. It wasn't cheap. But no, an OptiGuard would have saved that. I mean, and I'm running external power supplies anyway, so my servos are not running through BECs on the bigger helis, so and it's still shut down. So an OptiGuard would have saved my bacon there.
So you're running what? You're running off of?
I'm running Scott Grey reactors.
What, of a 2S pack?
3S pack.
3S pack. Okay.
Yeah. So
so what actually shut down then? Do you know?
I hadn't got to the bottom of it yet, but the wire for the switch was loose. But that was strange though, because switch should default to on.
Yeah.
If you unplug that switch, it should turn on. So I haven't got to the bottom of that one, but I've done quite a bit of bench testing on it. It's working fine. So, but yeah, OptiGuard would have saved my bacon there. So what else does people use as backup solution? I know you're using the little NICAP packs, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got the Scorpion Guard on my Goblin.
You've got a Scorpion Guard?
Yeah, on the Goblin.
Have you ever been unfortunate that you know that's kicked in? Because, I mean, I've seen a couple of these Scorpion bugs, but how do you know that they've gone off? How do you know if it's been activated? Because the Opti's got that great big flashing light. You know, if that's been activated, you know it's flashing its brains out. But is there anything on the bug where it lets you know that it's kicked in?
No, and that's one of the issues, really, with it, is that other than the fact that the voltage has dropped from 6-ish down to 5, you don't really know. But having said, it is kind of, well, you know, it depends how you switch it off, because what I always do is I always unplug the speed controller first and then switch the bug off. So you know then whether the ESC is working or not. So you kind of, it's quite a big pack on the bug. So it will easily last the flight if you don't notice that something's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever seen a BEC just pack up and the rest of the speed controller carry on working?
I have actually, yeah. Hobby King ESC, don't get me wrong, it was only a cheap one, but I have seen it. One of our club mates, Random Bob, we call him, as he is very random. But no, he had a Hobby King ESC on his 550. He was setting it up and he blew the BEC circuit. The rest of the ESC works fine still working to the now. Who's out there? Any link to OptiPower ESC backup via the Flying Dodo? Yes, Mr. Dodo, we'll put one up in a minute. In fact, Aid can do that for you now.
Yeah,
put
stick it in the link
to the
on the event.
ESC guard. Yep, he's going to put link up now. So, who else has got backup solutions on the helis? Dave, Roger?
I'm not running anything. I just rely on the BEC that's built into the ESC. On my Synergy N7, I'm running a 2S power pack for servo power for that.
Mhm. Okay. So
Yeah.
you say you're not as well.
It sounds like maybe I ought to think about doing something like that on my Goblin.
Mhm.
I think on the big stuff where there is a good chance of you being able to auto it down if you do get a complete ESC failure. And also, obviously, not only the cost of crashing, but also the physical, life cost possibilities of having a radio failure are that much bigger. I think it is definitely something worth looking at. Having a backup power supply of some description on the model is definitely worth having.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd go as far as the OptiGuard myself. I think I'd probably just stick in future. I think I'd just go the cheap route on most stuff, unless it was a 700. I think I'd probably just go for a life pack myself, LIFE, because it's you're getting into a big load of cash for the OptiGuard, really.
Yeah, that's why I got the Scorpion Pug, because I couldn't afford the OptiGuard at the time. It was only like 20 quid or something for the Scorpion Guard.
Yeah.
And the other thing I like about it is I use it for helping me set up models rather than having to plug in the main packs. I just plug it in, set up flybar systems, set up servos, and you don't have to worry about anything. It's a nice, simple little pack to use for that.
Yeah, that's exactly what my bug got used for setting up the 500. It's definitely a nice little, useful little gadget to have in the box as well.
Okay. Jezboo's been on again. He just runs a direct off a 2S pack, connected direct to the firebarless and the receiver, which is sort of redundancy unless the EC3 or pack fails somehow. No, that's fair comment, Jez. I know a lot of people that do that. I mean, back in the day, I think pretty much every heli was you had a separate pack for your electronics and different ones for your flight packs, your flying power system and everything. So, that's pretty much fair comment. I forgot where I was up to. Right. Painted canopies. I don't know if you guys have seen me posting, but I had one of my canopies redone for the 630 by Cano FX over in Nantwich. To be fair, his work is absolutely amazing. He's on the copy of the Goblin scheme for me there, and the finish on it is superb. So, yeah, just a little quick shout out to Bookers there. So, yeah, fantastic work. If you want something done, give Bookers give him a shout. Say we've sent you, and he'll hook you out. Now, weather-wise, I don't know about you guys, but I've not been feeling it in these last couple of weeks with the weather. I mean, this weekend just gone was pretty bad for me. The weekend before wasn't too bad. I mean, the Saturday, it was nice and cold, nice and crisp. The ground was frozen, no wind, and it was actually really nice to fly. The following day was a bit breezy, but again, wasn't too bad. But this last week, though, it's just dank and miserable, and you can't feel your fingers after 2 minutes. You know, are you guys feeling the same? Am I just reaching a peak where I need to just have a break for a couple of weeks or something? Do you reckon?
You're living in the wrong part of the country.
Oh yeah, I am a northern manly man. None of this shandy drinking that you lot drink down there.
Well, stop whinging about the weather and go and fly then.
But I'm not whinging about the weather. I'm just seeing what what you guys, what your winter habits are, and if you're still flying the winter, if you're still feeling it. I mean, there's no point asking Lee. He lives on the sun. He's always out there.
You should all just come down here and spend the winter.
Well, that'll do. I'll sleep on the floor in the living room.
I don't know. I posted a video last week, just a quick little 40 seconds, with I took my mini quadcopter for a walk on the beach with my wife and friends, and that was a beautiful day. You
can go off people, can't you?
As I said, we should have just kicked him before we started.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's been raining all day today, so.
Oh gosh, yeah. 1 day of rain, nightmare. No, but down here it's been quite nice. It was a bit chilly. That'll be the wife kicking something over. Thank you, dear.
Hello, Claire.
She tried to be quiet and failed a little bit. Quite funny. No, it did. So there's been a couple of days where I haven't been able to fly at the weekends because of work commitments, but which have tied up with some really, really, really nice days, like beautifully sunny, crisp. Don't get me wrong, they have been cold, but you know it's been nice. But then, I mean, there was a very particularly windy day recently, which was pretty damn cold, and I forgot my hat, which didn't help. That was pretty cold. But I mean, like last Sunday, it was pretty much flat calm, beautiful sunny day. You know, had a couple of layers on. You know, nice big jacket and a woolly hat. But other than that, it was really nice. We've been quite lucky with the weather at the weekends recently.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been the last few weekends. It has been good at the weekends. The week's been pretty crap, but that doesn't bother me. I'm at work, so but the weekends have been quite good. But the thing that's getting me is the hands. Once my hands get cold, you can't feel what you're doing. And I always like, no, that's a 1,200-1,300 quid helicopter, and that's gonna hit the ground. So.
There's a thing that I use. Although I do only use it for sloping generally. There's a thing called a radio warm. It's a transmitter mitt basically. Let's screen share this. So this is radiowarm.com. So it's a mitt with cuffs, nice stiff cuffs, and you know, so where your hands go in is a nice stiff kind of round circular sort of piece that stops it collapsing on your arms, and then it's got cuffs like on a jacket, so elasticated cuffs, so that the air can't go through the transmitter and through the bag, and a nice big strap to keep it off your fingers, and for slope soaring, they are invaluable. They are ridiculously good. Put it this way, I was a number of years ago. I was on a Welsh mountain doing some slope soaring between Christmas and New Year. They called it. It was called the Woolybacks F3F event for obvious reasons. It was flipping freezing, absolutely just ridiculously cold. The air temperature was, there was snow. There was like 6 inches of snow on the ground to start with. Anyway, we almost didn't get up there because the road hadn't been cleared. That was a bit scary. I had about 14 pairs of trousers, 18 pairs of socks, several jackets. Basically, I emptied my wardrobe and sort of put it all on. It was really, really cold. And silly hats, gloves, just hand warmers, the lot. And it was so cold. I mean, it was blowing about 30 miles an hour, so the wind chill was about -10. Without any gloves on, standing on the hill, flying, within about 30 seconds to a minute, you couldn't feel your thumbs. And within about 4 minutes, you couldn't fly. You had to turn your back to the wind to get your hands out of the wind. It was just so cold, so literally just freezing. And yet I could fly all day long with all of those clothes on, plus the radio warmer. It was just, that's if they do take a bit of getting used to, because they are a bit restrictive on the hands to start with, and yet your arms end up sitting in a slightly different place to where you're used to, and if you're not used to wearing a neck strap, that can be an issue as well. And so some people don't like them because they for that reason they don't like how it makes the transmitter feel, but it's monstrously better than having gloves on. For winter slope soaring, you can't fly without one basically. If you're standing in wind, it's just impossible to fly.
Yeah, I used to race RC cars as well years ago, and I couldn't even use a transmitter mitt then. So no, I mean I might have to try yours and see what it's like. No, it's where it's on the back of rubbing on the back of your hands. It just, I don't know. It just feels alien. It might just be me needed to get used to it or something.
Did you see that thing they put up on Heligraphics site the other day? A little booth.
Yes.
With a hot air dryer.
You did. Yeah, that's definitely a higher tech, better way of doing it. But unfortunately, that sort of thing is a bit heavy to lug up a hillside.
Yeah, it is a bit. I mean,
would blow away. But yeah.
What about the Americans amongst us? I mean, it gets proper cold over there. I mean, what do you guys do when it's really cold in winter?
We don't fly.
Where I live in Central California, so it's pretty nice year round. Probably the worst part of it is December, January, where it can dip down pretty cold. But yeah, for the most part, it doesn't bother me too much. It's not anything. I travel a fair amount throughout the year, and I think Roger does. So, when I'm in areas where it's just ridiculously below zero cold, I feel for those people. But like especially on the East Coast, I hear it a lot from people that live on the East Coast, where it's just guys are sitting in their cars until it's time to get out and fly, and they'll, with the heater on, and they'll run out and fly for a couple of minutes, and then bring the heli down and run back and jump in the car to warm back up. It's just nothing like that here. It's for the most part, I'd say, other than January and December, we're looking at mid 70s. Summertimes here are hard because it gets hot.
Just gets too hot.
Yeah, it's like trying to think, 110 degrees.
It's about 40.
Fahrenheit. That's like 45 degrees Celsius or something like that.
I think I'd die.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't survive in that.
That's it's not too bad. I can handle it for a little bit, but what it's hard on is I notice my heli motors and ESCs really cook in that temperature. It's interesting that I'll notice if I fly in temperate, moderate, like 70 degree Fahrenheit, 80 degree Fahrenheit weather, it's not bad. When I start jumping in the upper 90 and 100 Fahrenheit degrees around here, I notice my motors, when they come down, they're just absolutely, you can't touch them. They're just cooking hot. And same with the ESCs, I notice they're just ridiculously hot. But you drop much more below that, and they're nice and cool.
Yeah, I noticed some of that when I got out to Arizona this fall. The temperatures were up over 100 then, and when I was flying my Goblin, it came down real hot.
Yeah, real hot. Sort of the other end of it.
Say you don't even want to touch it.
Yeah. What motor have you got in that, Roger?
The Quantum 4115 1200.
All right. So yeah, I mean they don't get hot as a rule, do they? I mean, a lot of my helis have got Scorpions in, and we have a little saying at the club. It's like Scorpion hot is like proper hot, but the Quantum's not known for being hot, but in the summer over here, I mean, some of my Scorpions, you just couldn't touch them. They were really hot, but it's well within what the motor's designed for. I mean, they give a operating range, and it's well within that. But yeah, they were proper hot in summer.
Yeah, when the temperatures are reasonable, when I bring the Goblin down, you can just grab the motor can and it doesn't phase you at all. It's warm, but it's not hot.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy Booth says, fly harder, warm up the batteries when you fly, and then use those to defrost your fingers after the flight.
I do. I do. When it's that cold, I'll fly as hard as possible, then put 2 batteries in one in each pocket. So,
that's a bit of a problem I'm having with the 500 at the moment, where I'm using the 4300 opties in the 500. Now those would get warm on the X5 with the X Nova motor.
Yeah.
They were, if I pushed the model hard, really hard, like continuously for the whole flight, they would come off pretty warm. Whereas now I can't do that with the 500 because it's not pulling enough juice. So they're just coming off like lukewarm. It's like, that's no use of the hand warmer, is it? What am I supposed to do with that?
Fly harder. You just do a full flight of mental TikToks, hyper TikToks. Flying Dodo again. He's been on again. What about RC tyre warmers in a transmitter glove? I've actually seen that on Facebook. The other day, someone had got these RC tyre warmers, opened them up, and made them into like a little glove that went round his transmitter. It's a pretty little cool thing. Yeah. The touring car drivers, they have tyre warmers and bloody all sorts for these, and basically, he just cut them open because they're like a seam, so you open them up so they're like a flat panel, and put them around his transmitter off. Pretty ingenious. I quite like that.
How do they work? What are they? Are they chemical or are they?
No, it's just like heated blanket, like electric blanket sort of thing. Pretty much exactly the same as full-size tyre warmers.
Okay, so just resistive wire and some voltage.
Yeah, wire, voltage, jobs are good. So, no, yeah,
Do you guys notice a difference in how your helis fly in really cold weather versus warm weather?
Not so much how they fly. You can tell it's cold with the power out the batteries. The heli is significantly down on power for the first 30 seconds or so till you get a bit of heat back in the lipos. Then it's.
I was just curious if it denser or colder air, if you really noticed any difference versus flying on a hot day.
We don't get the massive range of temperatures that you get over there. On average, it's rare, very, very rare to see much more than 25 C and much below 0 C. So sort of the range of temperatures we see aren't that massive. So what's that sort of 32 to what 85
to 80? So yeah.
I think the maximum temperature we've ever seen is only about 110 Fahrenheit. And it's very rare. It doesn't often get much over 100 here.
No.
Yeah, here we can see the lowest in the winter we'll see here is like -6 Celsius and probably 43, 45 Celsius in the summer. So
yeah, so we don't see that massive change in temperature. So we don't. It's not a bigger difference. And where it's sort of gradually, we don't see many extremes day after day. It won't be like really hot one day and really cold and colder, significantly colder the next. So it sort of gradually changes over the months. So if you went from flying somewhere in the summer to Australia to fly in the winter, then we might notice a difference. But it doesn't change quick enough or big enough swing to really feel the difference in terms of air density.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we're quite lucky in that respect in the UK that the temperature doesn't go absolutely balmy. I mean, we had it the year it was down to -16 C. That was really cold. But to be fair, that's a one-off. That's like a once in a lifetime thing. I mean, I'd never seen it that cold before, and I doubt I ever will again. But the biggest problem over here is the wind and the rain. It's just constantly miserable. To be fair, though, to be fair, this last summer for flying from about March, end of March, has been amazing until like the last month. I think I've probably had one day of a weekend all year that I couldn't fly because of weather. It has been really good, and been some absolutely scorching days. So I can't really moan that much. It's just I want to get out there and fly in the winter. I really do, because I'm just really feeling helis at the minute. But I get out there and I can't feel my fingers, and it just takes the fun out of it for me.
I want to go sleep.
One phenomenon that I've noticed between flying and here at home in Illinois and flying out in Arizona is the change in altitude. Here in Illinois we're about 640 feet above sea level, and out in Arizona we're 1,800 to 2,000 feet above sea level. And it seems like I've got more stick in it to get the helicopter to hover than what I need here in Illinois. And when you throw in the higher temperatures, it's even more pronounced.
No,
I'm not real sure what kind of elevations you guys have in the UK, but I would think it might be similar to what I have here in Illinois.
I think we're a lot lower. I think where I am, we're only 50 meters above sea level, which is
that's about 150 feet.
150, 170 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
And Aids right on the coast, so it's probably about 3 meters.
No, I'm not quite that low. Yeah, certainly less than. I'm probably about the same as you actually here. And even the highest point in Dorset is only about 200 meters, so about 600 feet above sea level.
Yeah, it's pretty much just.
It's really not high, and I mean even Snowdon's only what 4,500 feet or something like that.
Something like that. Well, Ben Nevis is the highest, isn't it? Whatever that is, but anyway. But yeah, no, that actually would tie into what Dave was saying with regards to temperature swings and the air densities and stuff. I mean, you've got it there, Roger, with the altitudes, because obviously we all know as you get higher up, the air does get thinner. So and that makes sense. Jez has been back on again. Where I fly, it's reclaimed land, so technically it's below sea level. Ooh. Hope you don't get flooded out, Jez. You'll be swimming. Right.
Snowdon's 3,500 feet, so it's nothing. That's and Ben Nevis is only a bit more than that. It's only another few hundred feet. So yeah, it's there's really no high altitude stuff here.
No, that's just a small hillock in the States, isn't it? Right. One last thing, really, before we start wrapping up, because we want to keep it a bit compact this week, because I've got an early start at work. I'll tell you what, I work in the horticultural industry, and basically I fix mowers and garden machinery. That's what my job is. And you would have thought, come winter, it'd be dying off. Oh no, it's just so busy, it's not even funny. I've got to get 3 weeks worth of work done this week so I can have the next 2 weeks off over Christmas. So as you can imagine, I'm working really hard. Right, you may have noticed a while ago we put a post up about the flying that we're going to be holding at May the 9th and 10th over at the South Cheshire Heliaddict. Just want people to know that in the next couple of days, I'm going to put a registration post up. Aid did link me to a couple of things for registration and everything. like an event registration thing. So I'll probably do something like that, just so we can get an idea of numbers and stuff. Basically, what we're planning is it's just going to be nice and relaxed, nice and chilled out. Anyone can come. No pressure. You don't need A licenses, B licenses, or anything like that. But we just want to know what sort of people are coming, so we can organise a generator. Because one of the things we did say, myself and Adrian, was if people are going to come, we want to supply them with free charging. So obviously, one of the things we need to know is who's coming, so we can organise a generator. So yeah, it's going to be quite a good little thing. So we've got 24/7 flying capabilities down at South Cheshire Heliaddict. So we can fly constantly, pretty much, from the Saturday all the way through. So there will be night flying. Might even be fireworks, stuff like that. So, but yeah, if you're interested, get your name down, get registered, so we know how many people are coming, and then we can organise the generator and everything. So obviously, if we get too many people coming, we can organise another field, because the farmer that we do use, he owns pretty much half of Winsford. So getting another field isn't a problem. But obviously, if we get 50 pilots coming to fly on the current field, that's just going to be too much. So obviously, going to be more than that, we'll move to a different field and get a bigger field. But that's not a problem. We can sort that. So yeah, just essentially just a heads up that we're organising this, putting it on for you guys. Not making any money. It's all coming out of our back pockets. That's it. Just put a little back. That's what Rotors is all about. We're here. We're putting stuff back into the hobby, because something me and Adrian have done for years. We've taken a lot out of it. We've gleaned lots of knowledge. One of the things that we never had, though, when we started flying helicopters, was people to help us. You know, it's one of them things that we all did on our own. But now I'm one of these people that I will go and help people, and I will help them out and help them to learn, because I don't want them to go through all the hardships that I had. And I'm sure you're all the same age, because I know you do a lot of helping down at your club, don't you?
Well, it's not so much the club, but but there's a group of flyers here that I fly with and help them out and help them sort their models out and teach them the goings on, and obviously the videos that we're doing as well, and not just the main show, but the build videos, the how to do the flight stuff that I've been using accuracy to do, and and it's all just part of trying to put some back, really. It's been I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing people sort of improve, and a lot of the stuff I've been doing has been sort of inspired by the local guys. So, for instance, the transmitter one with the finger and thumbs, that was sort of inspired by Jay, the potty mouth cameraman. I think you remember him.
Yeah, I remember him.
And I sort of said, why don't you try doing it like this? And he spent 5 minutes going, "This is horrible! Don't make me do this! This is horrible! I'm going to crash! I'm going to crash! I'm going to crash!" and swearing lots. And then after a little bit of convincing, he gave it a go, and and his flying has improved because of it. And the same thing with the loops. Paul, another one of the local guys, was doing loops, and I was like, "Okay, you're backing off." The classic over the top, backing off the collective too much, and it's stopping over the top, and it wasn't round anymore, and this sort of thing. So I said, look, just back off the elevator a little bit, keep the collective on, use the collective to pull it across the top of the loop, and from that came the inspiration for doing the loops video. So and the same thing with the circles, that was Jay as well. So if you've got sort of something that you're struggling with, if anybody's got anything they're struggling with, a particular manoeuvre or something they want some tips on, or they're not quite happy with, anything like that, just drop me a message, drop Kev a message, and we'll put a little video together and get it going. Talking of which, I haven't quite got around to do it yet, but I need to do the frame mod for the T-Rex 500. I need to do a video for that somehow. How I'm going to do that after the event. I'm not sure. I'm just taking pictures.
I need to do one. And I need to do a video for the Spartan Governor as well. I mean, I've already written a handwritten guide, but I will do a video for people to make it a little bit easier on them. So, but yeah, that's what we're all about. That's what the heli community is about, helping each other and looking after each other and stuff like that. But no, that's it. I do want to give a couple of quick shout outs, a quick couple of thank yous. Ex-Nova Heli Motors, as you know, they've already sent us a motor for review, which Adrian's got in his X5, which is an absolute beast.
I cried when I realised it wasn't going to fit in the 500.
Oh, I bet you did. I mean, you know about Ex-Nova, don't you, Lee? You've heard a lot about Ex-Nova.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Haven't tried any yet.
Yeah, I mean, what's the coverage for Ex-Nova in the States, guys? Is there much over there, or?
I've heard of them, not very much though. You know, I think the most that I've heard about that motor is just from you guys.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, same here, Roger.
Yeah.
You know, KDE Direct is coming out with some new and fancy motors over here, and they're getting quite a bit of press. And of course, Scorpion gets huge amount of press too. So.
Yeah. No. But yeah, Ex-Nova. I mean, from the motor that we've already got, the quality of it is pretty much top of the range stuff, and Yakim, one of the French guys that's in charge of Ex-Nova over in Europe, one of the head guys, he's been in touch. He's heard that I'm getting the 380s, and I'm going to get a 380 motor off him. That's being sent out for a review and everything. So going to be another video review coming up of that. But I've actually seen pictures of the internal windings, and it's like a Swiss watch. I've never seen anything so beautiful. You know, it looks really, really good. But yeah, a big thanks to Yakim and Ex-Nova. You know, you can't thank people enough for that. And last one, I mean, I'll let Aid just wax lyrical a little bit about this. But Skyline Models, I mean, they've kind of come on board with Rotors at the minute, just helping us out and just giving a little nudge. I mean, they've helped Aid out with his 500 Dominator. They're helping me out with my Goblin. I mean, you just can't say enough about these guys. They've taken it on themselves to help us. We're just two guys putting back into the hobby, and people like these are giving us back. I mean, I'm sure you've got plenty to say about it, eh?
Well, I've known them, Aid and Roger and Nick for donkeys, absolutely donkeys. Roger is, so basically what's happened is it used to be Skyline Models, and then Climb Out split off from Skyline and did his own thing, and brought in a lot of products. He was the distributor for Phoenix for quite a long time. Compass Model, so he's my sponsor for a long time, and Magnum Fuel and all Curtis stuff and all this sort of thing. Now he's also one of the major dudes behind Accuracy, so they've done a lot for the sport over the years, and they put a lot of effort into Accuracy as well, and they're just really nice guys. You can't. You can phone them up and go, help, I need this, blah blah, and they'll go, hang on a minute, and they'll look it up for you, and they'll go and find what it is you need, and give you a bit of advice and all that sort of stuff. And they're just really nice guys. Can't say enough good things about them, really.
Cool. Well, yeah, exactly. Just to echo what I said, just a massive thank you to all the guys over at Skyline. We're just two guys. We're just putting back, and if people want helping us out like that, we can only be thankful. So, Has anybody else got any questions that they need answering? Any topics that we've not discussed before we wrap it up?
I was just wondering how, excuse me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how Adrian feels about the 500L Dominator. Where would you rate that kit, Adrian?
I think I can't just give it one rating because there's a as it comes rating, and then a potential with the right bits and pieces on it rating. And the as it comes for 90% of the people out there flying now, it is amazing value for money.
Mm-hmm.
And with a little bit of help to get the G Pro set up from a knowledgeable pilot that's willing to spend a bit of time to tune it, to get it to fly nice, properly. Not that it doesn't fly properly if it's not set up, but like anything, if it's set up properly, it flies better. But with a little bit of tuning and tweaking, it does fly really nicely. The issue is that with the tail servo and stuff like that, so that it doesn't quite perform quite as well as it could do with the right gear. So out of the box, it's amazing value for money. I think probably it's going to be worth a good 7. And to be honest, and now having had some time on it with the Vortex, the motor and speed controller do the job perfectly. It's not monstrously powerful. It's not X Nova motor in my X5 powerful, but I mean, you've seen the size of the loop. It's no shortage of power. It's still got bunches of power. And the speed controller does the job. The cyclic servos are fine. The carbon main and tail blades are fine. And it goes together reasonably easily. Some of the maintenance bits, say for instance, if you want to change the front tail drive gears that are in the boom, in the frame, that basically requires, it's easier just to take the whole side frame off than to mess around too much. So it's got a couple of sort of ease of maintenance issues that, again, but there's nothing really that says I don't like it. It's got a couple of little things that I would like to see improved upon. Things like being able to put a full-size tail servo in it without having to modify the frames. But it's a good quality bit of kit. It works. It does the job. Nothing's falling apart on it. It all just does the job. And then with a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, and a bit of money, it flies every bit as nicely as my X5 does, for instance.
Okay.
And that's the thing I think these days is that if you find a fly wireless unit that works for you, and it does the job, and you like the way it flies, experiment with the things. Don't stick with it. Just gives you out, which is what you've got. But it's if you find one that you really love the feeling of and everything else, then you stick that in a model, and that it will fly like that fly wireless unit. The helicopter itself is pretty much just a gearbox and some blades these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true.
So yeah, no, I like it. Flying doo-doo. As said, just can't get my head around Pyro TikTok globe reversals one-handed. Can I have a vid, please? Give me a couple of years, or 10, possibly.
Hey, what's up with you? I can do them blindfolded.
But
yeah,
okay,
I think he's just trolling us there, just having a bit of a laugh. But yeah, Pyro TikTok globe reversals. Is that even a thing?
So I'm just trying to think of the. So is he doing like one pirouetting loop with the left-hand pyro, and then
I'm just trying
the
to
next
think now.
loop for the globe the other way, I want to see. I want to see the clarification of what that is first.
Right, I know what a globe is. So you're doing the globe. That's great. Doing pyro TikToks at the same time. Now, which bit do you want to reverse? The pyro TikToks or the globe?
I think
I can picture it all in my head. Picture it doing it. But
if you do a pyro TikTok loop, and then multiply those loops
it's not a thing.
into a globe. It is. No, I'm going to
gather that, but
I'm going to make it a thing. I'm going to go do.
Make it a thing. Right.
I can't do the reversal because I can't do right rudder stuff. But I shall, just to suit you, I shall go and attempt the pyro TikTok globe. Just because.
Go for it. One thing before I forget, Mr. Trevathan, you've got a forum that you've set up, haven't you? I do believe. Go on and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I'm a moderator for a forum called RC Help and have been for 4 years. But that a few weeks ago it closed down, but now it's back up again. But while it was closed down, some of the guys, the regulars, decided to get together because they wanted to carry on, keep it as a little club and carry on chatting with each other and help each other out. So we set up a new forum called rchangout.com, and we've only been going for a couple of weeks now, but it's just a place, as the title says, for guys to hang out and chat about what they did that day flying, and we've already got about nearly 5,000 posts in 2 weeks, and it's a good little place to hang out. So invite everybody to come and join, and show us your helis and it's everything, not just helis, planes and cars and boats and whatever. But come and say hello.
Yep, no problem. I'm sure me and Aid will get registering later on. So, but anyway.
What was the URL? Just to
It's www.rc/hangout.com.
RC/.
Hyphen.
What? I don't know which one. The one with the straight line.
The hyphen. RC-hangout.com.
That's the one, yeah.
It's all Spanish, it's done his brain then. Right, so that's about an hour and a half, guys. As you probably see, I'm very tired, so I'm struggling a little bit. But I'd like to thank everyone for watching, everyone for joining in the chat. So much appreciated. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone, because the next show now will be in the new year. Probably about this sort of time, January, but we haven't got a date set just yet. But it'll be in January, the next one. So wish everyone a Happy Christmas and Happy New Year, and we'll see you all in January.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, guys.
Don't forget to go and check out our RC, what was it? I can't remember the name of it.
Hangout.
RChangout.com.
And also Ian Hand and Zeal Blades. What was the
URL? tg-rc.co.uk. As far as I'm aware, they are the only stockist of Zeal Blades in the UK at the moment.
Excellent.
Okie dokie. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.